Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about where you actually add your custom CSS when you're ready to add it to your site. So in a previous video, we looked at using the developer tools within your browser to identify different elements and how to write some of the CSS that you'd want to use. So in this video, we're going to show you actually where to put that CSS and how to publish it live to your website. Real quick, I do want to mention if you are a developer, then you're probably going to want to use a child theme, and you'll have your own style.css file in that child theme, and you'll add all of your custom CSS there. That's a little bit more of an advanced technique, probably something that more developers are going to want to do. So if that's you, go ahead and take care of that. However, for everyone else and for a majority of other folks, we're going to use a built-in part of WordPress called the customizer, which makes it really easy to add snippets of CSS code. You can add as much as you want, and you can preview and see what it looks like before you publish it and make it live. So for a majority of you guys, that's what this video is going to focus on. We're going to look at adding CSS in the customizer. So here we are in the WordPress admin area of our site. We're going to come down and look on the left-hand side for appearance, and then we're going to go to customize. This is going to pull up the WordPress customizer. Now you may see different options here on the left-hand side. This is going to be very dependent on what theme you're using. Different themes will add different sets of menu options here on the left-hand side. Also, some plugins can add additional things here, so that'll change the look. But every WordPress site by default should have what's called additional CSS, and it should be near the bottom of this list on the left-hand side. So we'll go ahead and click additional CSS. This part right here just gives you a little bit of an explanation about how to use the area. We're going to just go ahead and close that up. And now we have this large area here where we can enter all of the CSS code that we want to work with. There's a few things I want to mention here. One is that this right-hand side is a preview of your live website. And you can click on different links. You can move, right now I'm in focus mode, and you can move between lessons, between topics. You can come up here to the menu, go back to your account page, go back to the main course page. You can navigate and click on all the links here. What's going to be really helpful as you are previewing the CSS that you write to make sure that it's written correctly and it's doing what you want it to do is to have a page up that has the element that you're trying to change with CSS so that you can preview it here on this screen. So click around and go to an actual page that's going to have something that you want to change. That'll make previewing it a lot easier. The other thing is that you can use, just like I showed you how to use the developer tools in the previous lesson, you can use those same developer tools here in this preview window. So I can pull up the developer tools. I'm just going to go ahead and use the keyboard shortcut and pull that up. And you'll see, let's say I wanted to look at this title up here in focus mode, the title of the lesson. Here we are, it's the H1, and here are the same styles that we actually looked at this example in a previous lesson, but here are the CSS styles that are being applied for this H1 tag. So we can use our developer tools to identify CSS that we want to write here in the customizer window as well. So now let's actually add some CSS over here to the left-hand side, and we'll see it make our change here on the right. As I do this, I also want to make note of something that, that is important when you're writing CSS. There's some CSS that can be more specific than others. You'll see that referred to as specificity. And then also the placement of where you put your CSS over here on the left-hand side matters. So let's take a look at this example here where we have a focus mode title, the lesson title within focus mode here, where to add custom CSS. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to highlight this selector right here because this is what we're going to change and we're going to modify the CSS. So I'm going to copy all of that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste it in. Now you'll notice that there's an entry title class that's being targeted, and then there's a comma, and then there's another set of classes that target this H1 tag. So I just want to target this specific focus mode title right here, this H1. I don't want to do anything to the other entry titles that are found on other places of your site, like maybe your blog posts or your static pages might have the class name of entry title. We don't want to target those, so I'm going to delete that. So now all we have is our selector for this specific focus mode lesson title. And I will go ahead and make the font size 20 pixels. So as I do that, you'll notice it's changed right here and made the font size 20 pixels. I can also just kind of go here and I'll just add one more change and change the color to black. So you'll see it right there. Now what I was mentioning before is specificity and placement. Let's say you have CSS that targets all H1 tags. And you want to make all H1 tags black. You'd want to put this code because it's less specific and it targets more things, it's more general and broad, you'd want to put that first or just higher up here in this panel. The things that show up lower on the page or after something before it, these are going to take precedence over something that was shown earlier. So anything that's lower or comes after will take precedence. It's a good practice to put all of your more specific CSS. So this is targeting multiple different classes. So the H1s that are within this class, this class, this class, and this class. It's a lot more specific. That should always go later on down the line, whereas the more general stuff should go up top at the beginning of this file. So that order does matter. So just as a good general practice, get in the habit of structuring things that way over here. As I showed you, you can preview it live and you'll see what's going on right here. Double check everything, make sure it all looks good in your preview, and once you're satisfied with the way it looks, then you can come up here and click on Publish. As soon as you click Publish, that will make the changes live, so make sure that you have previewed everything and make sure that it's exactly what you want to do before you click this Publish button. Another thing to mention is at the very bottom of this left-hand panel here, there are 3 icons, and they are for desktop, tablet, and mobile previews. So by default, you're going to be looking at the desktop version, and it's going to fill the rest of your screen area here. If you click this middle button here, it's going to give you a tablet view. So it's going to shrink the page and show you what it looks like on a general tablet size. This isn't going to be perfect to every single tablet out there because there's a lot of different dimensions for tablets, but this will just give you a general idea of what things look like on a tablet-sized screen. And then the final one is going to be for a mobile device. It's going to shrink things, make them a lot smaller, and show you a mobile preview. So if you are using some of the techniques that I showed you in the previous lesson with the browser inspector where you can do different media queries and apply styles only to specific screen sizes, then using these preview icons down here to look at mobile, tablet, and desktop is going to be very helpful for you to preview things before you get ready to click the Publish button. The final thing I want to show you is a little bit of a tip to get you to be able to view the page that you want to view a little bit quicker. So as you're on your live site, here I am just navigating the live site, and you'll see that, let me go ahead and jump to this first lesson here. When you're on any of these individual pages on your site, you have this admin bar up at the very top of the screen. There's a link that says Customize. If you click this Customize link, that will take you directly into the customizer, and you will be on this page that you're on. So that's a quick way to get to that exact page and preview it in the customizer so you know exactly what settings. So here you'll see the customizer just loaded, and I'm already on that same page that I was previously on. Then you can click on additional CSS and you can write in your additional CSS here. So that's a quick way to get to the customizer with the page that you want to preview already preloaded. If you don't see that black admin bar at the top of your screen, you may have it disabled, and that's done on a user by user basis. So you can go to your admin area and under users, go to profile. This will access just your specific profile. There's an option right here for toolbar. Make sure that show toolbar when viewing site is checked. If this is unchecked, then this black toolbar will not appear on the front end of your site when you're viewing it. So you want to make sure that that's enabled if you're not seeing the toolbar. And that's all there is to it for adding your own custom CSS in the WordPress customizer.